So, what is unseen is eternal, and that's because not everything that you see is all that's going on, and not everything that you feel is all that's going on. You might feel pain, but it doesn't mean that it's going to stay forever, and it doesn't mean that you are going to never understand exactly what's going on. But for some circumstances, it might be the case, and that's just going to be how it is until the eternal, which is heaven. So, I just want to break that down. A lot of the times when we're going through suffering, we cannot understand what is going on, especially in the beginning. Like, we can't even rejoice in the suffering, but the Bible says we can rejoice in suffering, and we should rejoice in suffering because it is trials that we are going through that will produce a better faith. But it's hard because we cannot see in the very beginning anything. Our spiritual eyes are pretty weak, I feel, in the beginning of pain. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, in the beginning of physical pain, we are blinded by the physical. No, in the beginning of pain, we are blinded by the physical pain that we are experiencing. Like, it's a physical, emotional pain. Whatever happens is a physical, emotional pain in the beginning. Like, we don't understand how something is happening to us. So we're just concentrated on, like, why is this happening to me? Or um, it's just so hard to bear. And so when something's so hard to bear, it does become a physical pain. But if we stay in that groaning and moaning for too long and just are stuck in that physical pain of suffering and that emotional pain of suffering that weight on us, if we stay in that for too long, we're just going to be groaning and moaning. And that just furthers our disbelief in God, because we're not trusting in him that this battle is something that he sees. If we believe that he's a God who sees, because he sees all, like the unseen, we read in the verse earlier that the unseen, but he sees all. So if we believe that he's a God who sees all, then he sees our suffering, and he's going to make something out of it. So, but if we keep groaning and moaning, we're not going to see what his works are doing in us. We're not going to see it at all because we don't trust him. So that causes a lack of of trust in him, and our faith walk will become stagnant. It will just be still. And that's something that the devil wants. The devil wants us to be still. He wants us to be stuck, to not escape. If you think of like the worst situations possible, that's what he wants. And he wants us to be weighed down, not able to escape, thrown into a ditch, and not coming out. But God so loved the world. He sent his son. And he provides. And when we're weighed down in the stagnant state, we don't want to have relationships with anybody. We just want to sit and think about everything bad, and we're just feeling so heavy. So it blocks us, and it blocks us from relationships. It blocks us from relationships, of course, with God, but then it also blocks us from relationships with others. It blocks us in the sense that we don't want to communicate with others. We we just feel like everything is impossible to face, and then pride starts to build up because um we're like just in our own heads. So if we're in our own heads, then there's a sense of pride that comes because you're only listening to yourself. You're not even listening to God at this point because we are blocked. So when pride starts to build up, we're like, oh yeah, this person doesn't know what I'm going through. Like, they've never been through this. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever we tell ourselves, right? Oh, this person doesn't know. They don't know what I've been through. I mean, that can be true. They might not have had the same exact situation happen, but Whether you realize this or not, everybody's going through something, and everybody will go through something. And just because they're not going through it now, they eventually will go through it. They will go through something.